The Ankh. The Ankh, often called the key of life, is an ancient Egyptian symbol representing eternal life, immortality, and spiritual transformation. Shaped like a cross with a loop at the top, the Ankh symbolizes the union of opposites. The vertical line represents the masculine, spirit, while the loop at the top signifies the feminine, matter or creation. Together, they reflect the harmony between life and death, spirit and material existence, and the creative force of the universe. In esoteric traditions, the Ankh is also seen as a gateway to higher consciousness, offering access to hidden wisdom and the divine realms. It is often associated with the flow of energy through the human body and the life-giving power of the cosmos, aligning it with themes of resurrection, spiritual ascension, and regeneration. Adopted by Rosicrucian traditions, the Ankh symbolizes the eternal nature of the soul and the pursuit of spiritual immortality. Triangle. The triangle is a powerful and versatile symbol in esoteric, mystical, and spiritual traditions, representing balance, harmony, and the interplay of fundamental forces. Its three sides and points symbolize the triadic nature of existence: mind, body, and spirit, past, present, and future, or birth, life, and death. When combined, as in the Star of David, they symbolize the union of opposites. In Rosicrucianism, the triangle is often linked to the divine trinity, the union of the physical, emotional, and spiritual planes. It also reflects the alchemical process of transformation, where the seeker ascends through three stages: purification, illumination, and unification. The triangle's ability to point upward or downward serves as a reminder of humanity's dual path, rising toward higher consciousness or descending into material attachment. Solar disk. The solar disk is an ancient and sacred symbol representing the sun as a source of life, divine light, and spiritual enlightenment. Rooted primarily in Egyptian and other ancient traditions, the solar disk embodies the sun's role as the giver of life, illuminating both the physical and spiritual worlds. In Egyptian mythology, it is closely associated with the god Ra, the sun deity, and often depicted atop the heads of gods and goddesses such as Hathor and Isis, symbolizing divine authority, power, and immortality. Esoterically, the solar disk represents consciousness, the soul's radiance, and the eternal nature of the divine. It is linked to the solar plexus chakra, the energy center of personal power, will, and transformation, reflecting the light of inner awakening. In Hermetic and Rosicrucian traditions, the solar disk signifies the unity of creation and the ultimate source of life force that energizes the spiritual journey. Its circular shape symbolizes wholeness, infinity, and the cyclical nature of existence, life, death, and rebirth, while the radiating light represents the expansion of spiritual wisdom and illumination. As a guiding symbol, the solar disk encourages seekers to transcend darkness and align themselves with the divine light of truth. Rose and cross. The rose symbolizes the soul's spiritual unfolding, divine love, and the process of transformation through inner enlightenment. It reflects the human soul blossoming as it ascends toward unity with the divine. The cross represents the material world, the four elements, and the intersection of physical existence with spiritual aspirations, symbolizing sacrifice, balance, and the integration of matter and spirit. Together, the rose on the cross signifies the journey of spiritual evolution within the confines of material existence, where the soul overcomes earthly limitations. The Caduceus, depicted as a winged staff entwined by two serpents, further deepens this symbolism. The staff represents the central pillar or spine, often seen as the pathway through which the life force, akin to Kundalini energy, rises. The two serpents signify duality, light and dark, spirit and matter, masculine and feminine, and their intertwining reflects the balance and harmony required to achieve higher consciousness. The wings atop the staff symbolize the liberation of the soul and spiritual ascension. By merging the rose cross and the caduceus, this symbol highlights the unification of opposites, the alignment of body, mind, and spirit, and the soul's journey toward divine awakening. This powerful fusion encapsulates Rosicrucian, Hermetic, and alchemical teachings, emphasizing balance, harmony, and the union of material and spiritual forces as the key to enlightenment.
Hermetic Seal. The Hermetic Seal is a symbolic emblem that encapsulates the core principles of Hermeticism, an ancient philosophical and spiritual tradition attributed to Hermes Trismegistus. This seal is often depicted as a circular design containing alchemical, astrological, and geometric symbols, reflecting the unity of the cosmos, the interconnectedness of all things, and the principle of as above, so below. At its core, the Hermetic Seal represents the macrocosm and microcosm, symbolizing that the universe, macrocosm, mirrors the human being, microcosm, and vice versa. Alchemical symbols such as sulfur, spirit, mercury, mind, and salt body are often integrated, signifying the threefold nature of existence and the transformative process of spiritual and material alchemy. The seal may also incorporate the sun and moon, representing the balance of opposites, masculine and feminine energies, and the harmonization of the soul. Geometric shapes like circles, triangles, and squares often appear in the Hermetic Seal to symbolize eternity, divine order, and the grounding of spiritual forces into material form. Encircled by a boundary, the seal itself represents the containment and protection of sacred knowledge, reflecting the idea of a hermetically sealed vessel, which preserves wisdom and prevents corruption. The Pelican. This is a symbolic figure in esoteric traditions and Rosicrucianism, representing sacrifice, selflessness, and spiritual renewal. It is often depicted as a pelican piercing its own breast to feed its young with its blood, symbolizing the act of giving life through self-sacrifice. This imagery aligns with the concept of Christ's sacrifice in Christian mysticism, where the pelican becomes a metaphor for divine love and redemption. In alchemy, the pelican symbolizes the process of spiritual purification and transformation, akin to the rebirth of the soul through suffering and self-sacrifice. Its association with the Rosicrucians emphasizes the idea of nurturing others through one's spiritual enlightenment, embodying the ideals of compassion, sacrifice, and renewal. It serves as a reminder of the mystical principle that through personal sacrifice and love, higher states of consciousness and unity with the divine can be achieved.
The square and compass. The square and compass, arguably the most recognized symbol of Freemasonry, is more than just a decorative emblem. It represents a philosophy, a way of life, and a moral code that every Mason strives to follow. Historically, the square and compass can be traced back to the stonemason guilds of the Middle Ages. Operative Masons used these tools to construct the awe-inspiring cathedrals and castles of Europe. But as these guilds evolved into speculative Freemasonry in the 17th and 18th centuries, the tools became symbols of moral and philosophical teachings, guiding members in their personal and spiritual growth. The compass, with its two-pointed legs, represents the spiritual realm. It reminds us to draw boundaries around our desires and passions, ensuring we stay within the limits of self-control and moral integrity. The compass encourages Masons to reach upward, to seek wisdom, self-improvement, and connection with the divine. On the other hand, the square represents the physical and material world. It's a tool for ensuring accuracy and balance in construction, but symbolically, it reminds Masons to square their actions, to act honestly and justly toward others. Together, the square and compass form a perfect harmony between the earthly and the spiritual, a balance every Mason seeks to achieve. But the beauty of the square and compass isn't just in its meaning, it's in its universality. Whether carved into stone or worn on a lapel, it serves as a quiet reminder to live a life of balance, morality, and purpose. The letter G. The letter G, often seen at the center of the square and compass, is one of the most intriguing symbols in Freemasonry. While simple in appearance, its meaning is layered and deeply connected to the traditions of the craft. To uncover its significance, let's start with the most common interpretation. G stands for God, the great architect of the universe. This title is central to Masonic teachings, symbolizing the divine creator who designed the world with precision, order, and purpose. For Freemasons, the great architect is not tied to any specific religion. Instead, it represents a universal belief in a higher power, allowing members of different faiths to unite in their shared pursuit of truth and moral growth. But that's not all. The G also represents geometry, one of the 7 liberal arts and sciences that form the foundation of Masonic philosophy. Geometry, or the noblest of sciences, is revered for its connection to the divine design of the universe. From the proportions of the Great Pyramid to the orbits of celestial bodies, Masons see geometry as the key to understanding the natural and spiritual laws that govern existence. The dual symbolism of God in geometry also reflects the balance at the heart of Freemasonry. It bridges the gap between the spiritual and the physical, the infinite and the finite. Interestingly, the letter G also appears in other contexts within Freemasonry. In some lodges, it is prominently displayed in the East, illuminated as a reminder of the divine presence overseeing their work. For many Masons, this light symbolizes enlightenment, guidance, and the pursuit of truth, a cornerstone of Masonic teachings. The all-seeing eye. The all-seeing eye is one of the most mysterious and captivating symbols in Freemasonry. Often depicted as an open eye surrounded by rays of light, it represents divine watchfulness, omnipresence, and enlightenment. But its story, like its symbolism, is multifaceted, rich in history, and layered with meaning. In Freemasonry, the all-seeing eye is known as the Eye of Providence, symbolizing the ever-watchful gaze of the great architect of the universe. It reminds Masons that their actions, both seen and unseen, are observed by a higher power. It's a call to live a virtuous life, grounded in integrity and morality, even when no one else is watching. During the 18th century, it was included in Masonic documents such as the 1738 publication of the Freemasons' Pocket Companion. By the time the US adopted it as part of the Great Seal in 1782, it had become a symbol of enlightenment, divine guidance, and unity, values shared by Freemasonry, and the founding ideals of the new nation. Over the years, the all-seeing eye has become the subject of speculation and conspiracy theories, often linked to secret societies and shadowy agendas. But for Masons, its meaning is far simpler and far nobler. It is a reminder of their duty to live with honor, to seek enlightenment, and to trust in the guidance of a higher power. The Acacia branch. The Acacia branch is one of the most symbolic emblems in Freemasonry, representing immortality, resilience, and the enduring nature of the human spirit. Though it may seem like a simple plant, its significance is deeply rooted in ancient traditions and Masonic teachings, offering profound lessons to those who seek to understand its meaning. The acacia tree has long been regarded as sacred in various cultures and religions. In ancient Egypt, it was associated with the gods and was believed to symbolize resurrection and eternal life. The biblical Ark of the Covenant, central to Judeo-Christian traditions, was said to have been constructed from acacia wood, emphasizing its divine connection and its role as a material of purity and strength. In Freemasonry, the acacia branch is primarily a symbol of immortality. Its evergreen nature, remaining lush and vibrant even in harsh conditions, serves as a reminder that the soul, like the acacia, endures beyond physical death. This is particularly significant in Masonic rituals, where the acacia is often present as a symbol of the eternal life that follows the earthly journey. The acacia plays a key role in the allegory of the third degree. According to Masonic tradition, an acacia sprig was planted at the grave of Hiram Abiff, the legendary master builder of King Solomon's temple. This sprig symbolized both the unbroken bond of fraternity and the hope of resurrection, a belief that, though the physical body may perish, the spirit will live on. The blazing star. The blazing star is one of the most radiant symbols in Freemasonry. Its brilliance lights up the lodge, captivating the imagination of those who encounter it. But what does this star truly represent? Its meaning is as vast as the light it symbolizes. Historically, the blazing star has roots in ancient cultures and spiritual traditions. Stars have long been regarded as symbols of divine guidance and cosmic order. For the Greeks and Romans, stars were celestial markers of fate and destiny, often associated with the gods themselves. In Freemasonry, the blazing star takes on multiple layers of meaning. At its core, it represents divine providence and enlightenment. It is a reminder of the great architect of the universe, who guides Masons on their journey toward truth and moral perfection. The light of the blazing star symbolizes the knowledge that dispels ignorance, the clarity that overcomes confusion, and the spiritual illumination that leads to understanding. The blazing star is also deeply tied to the concept of guidance. Just as ancient mariners used the stars to navigate the seas, Masons look to the blazing star as a spiritual compass, pointing the way to moral and ethical living. It reminds Masons that they are never truly lost, as the divine light of truth always shines to guide them back to the right path. The pillars of Boaz and Jachin. The pillars of Boaz and Jachin stand tall in Masonic symbolism, representing strength, stability, and the duality of life. These iconic columns are a direct reference to the biblical description of Solomon's temple, where they were placed at the entrance as symbols of divine authority and balance. The names Boaz and Jachin appear in the Old Testament, specifically in the Book of Kings and Chronicles. According to the scriptures, these two bronze pillars were crafted by Hiram of Tyre, the legendary master builder of Solomon's temple. Standing on either side of the temple's entrance, they were not just structural elements but deeply symbolic. Jachin on the right is often interpreted as meaning he will establish, while Boaz on the left means in him is strength. Together, they reflect the balance between divine establishment and human strength, a cornerstone of Masonic philosophy. In Freemasonry, the pillars of Boaz and Jachin take on profound symbolic meaning. They represent the gateway to the mysteries of the craft, standing as sentinels that guard the sacred knowledge within. Passing between these pillars is a metaphorical journey, a transition from the mundane to the spiritual, from ignorance to enlightenment. In Masonic lodges, the pillars are often adorned with additional symbols such as globes or celestial imagery, further emphasizing their connection to the cosmos and the divine. The sun and moon. These are central Masonic symbols representing balance, enlightenment, and duality. The sun symbolizes light, knowledge, and renewal, guiding Masons toward wisdom and truth. Rising in the east, it signifies beginnings and divine energy. The moon reflects the sun's light, symbolizing intuition, reflection, and the mysteries of the night, reminding Masons that light can always be found in darkness. Together, they embody dual forces, active and passive, reason and intuition, teaching the Masonic principle of harmony through balance. Across cultures, these celestial bodies have represented divine forces and the rhythm of time. In Freemasonry, the sun aligns with the worshipful master in the east, symbolizing leadership and authority, while the moon aligns with the senior warden in the west, representing reflection and balance. These symbols inspire Masons to integrate opposites, find harmony, and follow the eternal light of wisdom. The level. The level is one of the most essential symbols, and at first glance it appears to be a simple tool, a carpenter's instrument used to ensure surfaces are even. But within Freemasonry, the level carries a far deeper meaning, teaching lessons about equality, humility, and the shared destiny of all humanity. In operative masonry, the level was indispensable for ensuring that structures were perfectly balanced. Without it, even the grandest cathedrals and temples would lack stability. The level became a symbolic reminder of an important truth, that all men are equal in the eyes of the great architect of the universe. In Masonic philosophy, the level represents equality, fairness, and justice. It teaches Masons to treat all people with respect and dignity, regardless of their social status, wealth, or position in life. Just as the level ensures that every stone in a structure is perfectly aligned, it reminds us to ensure that our actions and interactions reflect fairness and balance. Ancient philosophers like Socrates and Confucius emphasized the importance of equality and justice in society, principles that are shown in the Masonic teachings associated with this tool. The level also resonates with the democratic ideals of the Enlightenment, a period that greatly influenced modern Freemasonry. In Masonic ritual, the level is often associated with the senior warden, who uses it as a symbol of their duty to ensure that all members of the lodge are treated with equal respect and fairness. This officer embodies the lessons of the level, promoting harmony and balance within the lodge. Metatrons cube. This is a complex and significant symbol in sacred geometry, representing the underlying structure of the universe. It is named after the archangel Metatron, a powerful figure in Jewish mysticism, who is said to be the scribe of God and the keeper of the records of the universe. This sacred geometric figure contains 13 circles connected by straight lines, forming patterns that hold deep spiritual and metaphysical meanings. Its interconnected circles and lines symbolize the interconnectedness of all things in the universe, showing how everything is part of a grand design. It reflects the idea that creation is both structured and infinite. Metatron's cube contains all 5 Platonic solids, which are considered the building blocks of reality. These shapes are believed to be the fundamental forms underlying all matter in the universe, associated with the classical elements, fire, earth, air, water, and ether, symbolizing the framework of the material world. The pattern is often used in meditation and spiritual rituals to connect with higher consciousness or divine realms. The Vesica Pisces. This is a sacred geometry shape formed by the intersection of 2 circles, where the center of each circle lies on the circumference of the other. This creates a lens or almond-like shape in the middle. It is one of the oldest symbols in sacred geometry and holds deep spiritual significance across various cultures. In religious and mystical traditions, the Vesica Pisces often symbolizes the union of opposites, such as the spiritual and physical worlds or the divine feminine and masculine. It has been associated with creation, the intersection of consciousness, and the gateway to higher knowledge. The shape also plays a role in the formation of the seed of life and flower of life patterns, integral to other sacred geometry concepts, the Sri Yantra. This is a sacred geometric symbol used in Hinduism and Tantric traditions, representing the cosmos and the divine feminine. It is composed of 9 interlocking triangles, 4 pointing upward symbolizing Shiva, masculine energy, and 5 pointing downward symbolizing Shakti, feminine energy. These triangles create a complex, symmetrical pattern with 43 smaller triangles, forming a central point known as the Bindu, which represents the universe's origin or the point of creation. The Sri Yantra is often used in meditation and spiritual practices to focus the mind and awaken higher consciousness. It is believed to represent the union of divine energies and the balance of the physical and spiritual realms. As a powerful symbol of spiritual ascension, it is often associated with achieving material and spiritual prosperity. The circle of life. This is a universal symbol representing the cyclical nature of existence, found in various spiritual, philosophical, and cultural traditions. It reflects the idea that life moves in a continuous cycle: birth, growth, death, and rebirth or renewal. This concept emphasizes that all aspects of life are interconnected and interdependent, and that every end leads to a new beginning. In sacred geometry, the circle is seen as a perfect shape, symbolizing unity, wholeness, eternity, and infinity. Its unbroken, continuous nature represents the unending flow of time and the eternal cycle of life. The circle of life also embodies balance, harmony, and the interconnectedness of all living things within the universe. In many cultures, the circle is used in rituals and teachings to illustrate the relationship between the physical and spiritual realms, the individual and the collective, and the finite and infinite aspects of existence. The Merkaba. This is a sacred geometric symbol that represents a multidimensional energy field and spiritual vehicle in many mystical traditions. It is depicted as 2 interlocking tetrahedrons, one pointing upward and the other downward, forming a 3-dimensional star shape. Merkaba combines 3 words in Hebrew, mer, meaning light, ka, meaning spirit and body, symbolizing the connection between these three elements. It represents the balance between masculine and feminine energies, the physical and spiritual worlds, and the mind, body, and spirit. In mysticism, the Merkaba is believed to be a light body vehicle that allows for ascension and spiritual travel to higher realms, aiding in spiritual awakening and enlightenment. The Merkaba is often linked to ancient Egyptian and Kabbalistic traditions. It is used in meditation practices to align one's energy with the universe and achieve spiritual transformation or protection. The Torus is a three-dimensional, donut-shaped figure defined mathematically as a surface generated by revolving a circle around an axis outside the circle. It is one of the most important shapes in both science and spirituality, symbolizing energy flow, balance, and self-sustaining systems. It consists of a central hole and a continuous, curved surface that wraps around itself. This shape allows for the circulation of energy or matter in a self-contained, perpetual loop. It can be visualized as an energy vortex, where energy flows in through one pole, circulates around the center, and exits through the other pole, creating a balanced and continuous motion. In spiritual traditions, the torus is often used to represent energy fields, particularly around living beings like the human body. It is said to depict the structure of the human aura or energy field, and some associate it with the heart's electromagnetic field. The torus is seen as a representation of the dynamic, cyclical nature of the universe, suggesting that everything in the cosmos operates through continuous cycles of expansion and contraction, inflow and outflow of energy. In physics, the torus appears in magnetic fields and plasma dynamics. For instance, the magnetic field surrounding the Earth is shaped like a torus. Some cosmological models suggest that galaxies, black holes, and even the universe itself exhibit toroidal energy patterns. The torus shape is also found in natural systems, such as hurricanes or whirlpools, where matter or energy circulates in a self-sustaining, spiraling motion. Generally, the torus is a symbol of unity, balance, and the infinite cycle of energy in nature and the universe. The Star of David. This, also known as the Magen David, is a widely recognized symbol of Judaism and Jewish identity. It is a hexagram consisting of two overlapping equilateral triangles that form a six-pointed star. The Star of David holds deep religious, spiritual, and cultural significance, and its meaning has evolved over centuries. The origins of the Star of David are somewhat unclear, and it is not mentioned in early Jewish texts like the Torah. The symbol is found in many ancient cultures, including Hinduism, Islam, and occult traditions, where it was often associated with balance, protection, and cosmology. In Jewish mysticism, particularly Kabbalah, the Star of David is seen as a representation of the relationship between God and the universe, and between the divine and the earthly realms. The two interlocking triangles are said to symbolize the connection between the divine and human, heaven and earth. The Star of David first began appearing in Jewish texts and synagogues around the Middle Ages. In the 17th century, the Jewish community of Prague adopted it as a symbol, and it gradually became associated with Judaism as a whole. By the 19th century, the Star of David became widely recognized as a symbol of Jewish identity. Its use was formalized in the 20th century, when it was adopted as the central emblem of the flag of Israel in 1948. In Kabbalistic tradition, the Star of David is also seen as a protective symbol, with the 6 points of the star representing the 6 directions: north, south, east, west, up, and down, with God's presence at the center. This suggests that the wearer or user of the star is protected on all sides. It is commonly seen in synagogues, Jewish gravestones, and religious texts, symbolizing the Jewish faith and community. It also appears on Jewish jewelry and amulets, symbolizing protection and divine connection. The spiral. This is a fundamental geometric shape, either expanding outward or contracting inward. It is commonly associated with growth, movement, and evolution, both in nature and symbolism. It is common in nature, such as in shells, galaxies, and hurricanes. The spiral symbolizes the journey of life, spiritual growth, and expansion of consciousness, cycles in nature, such as seasons or life-death rebirth patterns. In sacred geometry, the spiral is often seen as a symbol of harmony between chaos and order. Spirals appear frequently in nature, such as in Fibonacci sequences seen in nautilus shells, flower petals, pine cones, and galaxies. In many spiritual traditions, the spiral is used as a symbol of personal and cosmic development, representing the path from the outer world to the inner soul or higher consciousness. The spiral is celebrated for its representation of natural growth, universal order, and the flow of life.
The Helm of Awe. This is an ancient Norse symbol associated with protection, strength, and invincibility. It consists of 8 tridents or arms radiating from a central point resembling a sun or compass. The Helm of Awe is primarily linked to Viking warriors, magic, and Norse mythology, where it was regarded as a powerful talisman of war and spiritual defense. It appears in Old Norse texts and later Icelandic grimoires as a magical symbol used to invoke supernatural power. It is notably mentioned in the Poetic Edda, specifically in the story of Fafnir the dragon who guards a hoard of treasure. In the legend, Fafnir claims that he used the Helm of Awe to protect himself and instill fear in his enemies. This connection to Fafnir has led to interpretations of the symbol as a representation of overwhelming power, capable of striking fear into those who oppose its wielder. In Viking culture, warriors would either carve or paint the Helm of Awe onto their foreheads, shields, or armor before battle. The belief was that the symbol would grant them an aura of invincibility, making them impervious to both physical and spiritual harm. It was not just a symbol of protection, but also one of psychological warfare. If enemies believed the warrior was magically enhanced, they might be more likely to hesitate or flee. Beyond its battlefield applications, the Helm of Awe was also used in magical rituals and Norse mysticism. It was also believed to help with mental fortitude, shielding its bearer from doubt, anxiety, or spiritual attacks. Today, the Helm of Awe remains a popular symbol in Norse paganism, Asatru, and other modern esoteric traditions. Many view it as a representation of inner strength, resilience, and self-empowerment.
This is a symbol created to represent a specific intention or desire, derived from the Latin word sigillum meaning seal or sign. Sigils are often used in rituals, spells, and ceremonial magic to focus the practitioner's intent and channel energy towards a desired outcome. The creation of a sigil typically involves the combination of letters, symbols, or images, which are then charged with energy through meditation, visualization, or other magical techniques. Once charged, the sigil is believed to act as a beacon, transmitting the practitioner's intention to the universe and aiding in the manifestation of their desired goal.
The pentagram. The pentagram is a five-pointed star enclosed in a circle. It has been used since ancient times in various cultures and religions, including Wicca, neo-paganism, Christianity, historically, and other occult traditions. In Wicca and neo-paganism, the pentagram represents the five elements: earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. Historically, it was also used by early Christians to symbolize the five wounds of Christ. The pentagram has been found in ancient Mesopotamian artifacts dating back to 3000 BC. It was also used by the Pythagoreans in ancient Greece around the 5th century BC. Hand of Fatima. The Hamza, also known as the Hand of Fatima, is a palm-shaped amulet popular in the Middle East and North Africa. It is used in Islam, Judaism. In Islam, the Hamza represents the Hand of Fatima, the daughter of Prophet Muhammad, symbolizing protection, power, and strength. In Judaism, it is known as the Hand of Miriam, representing protection from the evil eye.
Eye of Horus. The Eye of Horus is an ancient Egyptian symbol of protection, royal power, and good health. It was used in ancient Egyptian religions. The Eye of Horus represents the eye of the god Horus, who lost it during a battle. It was restored by the god Thoth, symbolizing healing and protection. The Eye of Horus has been found in numerous ancient Egyptian artifacts, including the tombs of pharaohs and amulets dating back to around 3000 BC. The crescent and full moon. The crescent moon and star is an ancient symbol that predates Islam, but was adopted by it later. The crescent moon and star represent guidance, light in the darkness, and the Islamic faith. The symbol was used in ancient Mesopotamia and Byzantium before being adopted by the Ottoman Empire in the late medieval period. It became widely associated with Islam in the 20th century.
The cross. This is one of the most recognizable symbols of Christianity. It represents the crucifixion and death of Jesus Christ, and basically is a central symbol for the Christian faith. It symbolizes the sacrifice of Jesus Christ for the redemption of humanity's sins and his resurrection. It is also a symbol of faith salvation and the promise of eternal life. Crosses have been found in ancient Christian catacombs in Rome, dating back to the 2nd and 3rd centuries AD. The Latin cross became widespread in the Roman Empire after Christianity was legalized in the 4th century AD. The fish, the icthys, or Jesus fish, is an early Christian symbol used by believers to identify themselves during times of persecution. The fish symbolizes Jesus Christ, with the Greek word icthys, fish, being an acronym for Iesus Christos Theos Soter, Jesus Christ, Son of God, Savior.
The Tree of Life. The Tree of Life is a widespread mythological concept in various cultures, symbolizing the connection between all forms of creation, found in Christianity, Judaism, Islam, and various ancient mythologies. The Tree of Life represents immortality, wisdom, and the interconnectedness of all life. In Christianity, it is also associated with the Garden of Eden. The concept of the Tree of Life has been found in ancient Sumerian art, around 2500 BC, and various other ancient cultures, including Norse mythology and ancient Persia. Chi-Rho. The Chi-Rho is one of the earliest forms of Christogram, formed by superimposing the first two letters of Christ in Greek, Chi and Rho. The Chi-Rho symbolizes Jesus Christ and is used to signify signify his authority and presence. The Chi-Rho symbol was popularized by Emperor Constantine after his conversion to Christianity in the early 4th century AD.
The name of Allah. The name of Allah, often written in Arabic calligraphy, is a central symbol in Islam. The name represents the oneness of God, Tawheed, in Islam, and is a reminder of God's presence and power.